Today we're joined by Reham Ismail, a resident of Gaza and a survivor of the genocide in Palestine. We first interviewed Reham in July 2025 at the height of the assault by the Zionist state. She spoke to us live while displaced, moving between camps in search for safety after losing many members of our family. She's not affiliated with any political party or organization, just a member of her community sharing her lived reality. By the grace of Allah, she survived. Today, she joins us again to tell us what life in Gaza looks like now and the current reality facing its people. Reham, thank you for being with us. Just to let everyone know that we have limited access in terms of internet. So Reham, she will be cutting off, but as long as we can hear the voice, then that should be fine. So Reham, thank you again for joining us. Tell us a bit more, Ramadan Mubarak, and tell me a bit more about how Ramadan is in Gaza at this moment.
Thank you. I'm really happy for being here again. Ramadan Mubarak for everyone. Well, the general atmosphere here in Gaza, as before, nothing much has changed. Life, we could say that it's quieter now, but it's not normal. Prices haven't stabilized yet. Moving from one place to another remains extremely difficult. There is no suitable environment for learning or even teaching. And a week ago, I took my nephew to his school. He's at the first grade. You could describe this place with every word, but except a school. There wasn't even seats for them to sit. It's like unsuitable environment for kids to learn and to want to go to school. The suffering caused by the shortage of medicine continues even with the ceasefire. And believe me, it's really hard to stay optimistic while you are living with everyone around you, waiting for like something to happen again. With each gunshot, with each pumping happens, we feel like the nightmare will come back. People are still traumatized and exhausted. Shortly, even with ceasefire, fear hasn't disappeared.
Mm-hmm. So that's the daily life in Gaza after ceasefire hasn't
Exactly. Yeah.
changed. It's the same.
Exactly. No big changes.
Okay, so in terms of on the ground, are they still bombing? Is there what's going on the ground? Is there some sort of normality?
Nothing is normal, as I said before, and I think it will never be normal. The pumping, even with the ceasefire, hasn't completely stopped. We could say that it's slowed down, maybe. They still, if they have targets, they still target it. No matter if there are innocent people, if there are damages in the place, it's fine as long as they get their targets. So I think real measurements must be implemented to improve people's lives. Because
Mhm.
until now, many people are still losing their lives because, for example, the collapsing of their homes, which they were first to live in, regardless of its conditions. Until now, many people are still suffering from lack of food, water, medicine, and even shelters.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to
Even
ask you. So with regarding food supplies and the essential medicines, is
yeah.
that coming through? Is like we've got a lot of organization NGOs. Are they passing a lot of the medicine and food? Is it coming through?
We could say that is entering, but it's still far from enough.
Hmm.
Distribution process is uneven and it's slow. Many people or many families are still go to sleep hungry because the aid enters in limited amounts and doesn't reach everyone who needs it. There are still people who survive on one meal a day, one meal a day. Even we are now, for example, we are in Ramadan. Many people can't have anything to eat at suhoor, or even they eat snacks for
So
futur.
you're saying that no food is coming through, or it's the same as before?
No, it's coming now. It's not enough because the distribution is uneven and it's slow. Besides, the prices are still unstabilized, and not all people can register to get these aids.
What about the progress in towards building reconstruction of the buildings and stuff? Is that happening? Because we can see bits and pieces on social media. So, is there any progress made towards
No,
reconstruction
actually,
or building?
not
Nothing.
even not even a single one. What you see,
Wow.
maybe it's like people clearing rubbles with their bare hands. We
Yeah,
are
this is
removing
what we're
or
seeing.
Yeah, we are salvaging what we can because the equipment needed to improve the rubble, to remove, I'm sorry, the rubble, and the fuel needed to operate it were not allowed in. So most families currently, and my family is one of them, are still living in damaged homes, tents, or overcrowded shelters because the needed material once again are not allowed in.
So, people in the tents, are they moving to their homes, or are they still in the tents that was provided?
Those who have homes, those who have remains of their homes, could
Mm.
move back, just like salvaging anything.
So,
So,
what's the general sentiments in Gaza towards President Trump's proposal plan for the Gaza?
well, simply any proposal that ignores Palestinians' rights and self-determination is viewed as another try to control our future without our consent. All the decisions they make are made without caring about what do we need or what do we want. These are more like rules imposed on us rather than decisions made with us or for our benefits.
Hmm. Why
So
do
they
you
are
think
not.
think Palestinians are largely excluded from the peace negotiations and decision-making process about their future?
Well, the answer is simple because in this world, unfortunately, power speaks louder than justice. Palestinians are treated as a humanitarian problem rather than human beings or political people with rights. I think because acknowledging us as equal decision makers would mean acknowledging our rights, and this is the last thing they want to have. So it's easier to negotiate over us than with us.
What's the general people? How do they feel when they look at USA and the West?
I mean, we feel like they are seeing us as a project. Gaza is not a city. It's just like a project where we can make a profit and we can decide what to do for those people. We have no right to make decisions here.
So, what's your reality? Have you been able to return home, and what extent has everyday life resumed for your family?
Yeah, actually, Alhamdulillah, we went back home. As I said before, it was partially destroyed, but we try to make do with what we have to be able to live in it. With everyday life, we can't say that this is like a normal life for us or for everyone or for anyone else because there are still no stable schools, no reliable work. We just try to stay together and get through each day. Life hasn't really resumed.
So, they introduced the yellow line. Um, are you aware of that? Does it affect you where you live?
Yeah, actually, I live near one of these.
Really? And
Yeah.
so, do they have the Zionist armies? Do they have stations
Yeah.
there?
Whenever the Israeli soldiers would like to do anything, would like to move in this area, we hear many bombing, many gunshots. They shot everyone near near these lines. They deal with everything. It gets near these lines as a threat, actually. Many of innocent civilians were killed while just checking on their homes or without
But
knowing that
do the civilians, do the people understand the implication? Do they understand the meaning of this invisible yellow line?
actually they are supposed to be protecting us and them at the same time, but they see it as red lines for us. We can't just get near these lines because we don't know actually when they move it or when they change it, because these lines move constantly. We just hear rumors more than clear information.
Has there been anyone shot or injured
Yeah,
because they went
many
near the
many
line?
That's right. Many people has been shot because of just getting near these lines. Many people were bombed while checking on what's left of their house. They treat us as a threat, so you can't just come near these places.
What about their army, the Israeli army? Do they have station within Gaza, or is it just outside the yellow line?
No, it's at the yellow lines, and I think in Rafah borders there are still some soldiers there and so on, because the I don't think what is it called actually. The government they need to
Security,
protect
you mean?
hasn't come yet. Yeah,
Sorry?
that's the security what?
The security. So they want to have security. Is that
Exact.
is that the reason that they have soldiers in Rafah border?
Yeah, that's right. Because they want also they don't want everyone to come back to Gaza, or they want to make it difficult for people to go out from here. So they
Okay,
are
yeah, when you said that they don't want people to come into Gaza. So during the attack, during the genocide, there are a lot of Gazans that moved out. Did they go
exact.
out of Gaza? Are they coming back in? What's that reality? Is there a reality there?
Yeah, actually, many people, or most of people who went out during the war, are trying or doing their best to come back here. They say that this is our homeland. We are suffering already, living in other countries. So all of the people want to come back here, but the measurements are still difficult for them.
Okay. I just also wanted to ask you about charities. Yeah. So in the UK, there are a lot of charities who send money. How much do people on the ground receive approximately?
Well, we could say that not all charities are equal. Because even if the UK charities, for example, do send aid that reaches the people in Gaza, they don't usually take it as a straight cash. Maybe they take it as food, shelters, or services. And again, that's the distribution process is slow and can't reach for everyone.
Okay, the reason I'm asking about charities because we are concerned as there has been recent cases where high profile social media influencers who has taken millions of this charity money for himself.
Exactly. Yeah, we hear
S-
about this. They
So
work for it.
you are aware of that there are people in the middle who are taking money.
Yeah, we know that actually, and this is like something. This is a shame, actually.
Mhm. So when people send money from here, like they've got zakat money that they send. So what is the best way to send money to Gaza so it reaches the people?
Because of the so many attempts to take from people to take the money for their accounts. I
Mhm.
think the best way to donate is through well-established, properly registered charities with demonstrated delivery and annual transparency reports. That would be the best way in order to give it to the right people.
What about the surrounding countries like Turkey? They've got a lot of charity organizations. Is there charity organization from the Muslim countries in Gaza?
Yeah, actually, as the Western countries are helping, and also the Eastern countries are doing the same.
So
Um,
there are NGOs and charity organizations on the ground.
yeah, exactly. Most of the countries are trying to help. Thanks for that.
And in your view, What should Gaza's future look like?
Gaza should be a place to live, not a place the world manages during crisis. We are not a project for others to gain profit from. We deserve to live better, like everyone else around the world. To get the basics rights, to
Absolutely.
get the basic
Um, i-
rights.
yeah, in terms of your personal situation, were you able to reunite with your niece?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. Actually, we live together now at the same place.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
I'm
That's really
trying
good.
to let me find the word. I'm trying to make it up for the time I lost with her.
Brilliant. And your work, have you resumed working because you're a teacher, isn't it? So is that
Yeah,
something that
actually,
you're doing?
I resumed working while we were still at war. This is something we known for as Muslims, as Palestinians. We never
Hmm.
stop learning and we never give up. Even during the war and during the suffering, we went back to our work and we tried to do our best to keep the students safe and to keep ourselves, of course, safe.
Just a quick thought. So the hospitals, are they back? Are they functional?
Well, they are. We can say that they are functional, but the aid enters or the medical aid enters is limited, and many pharmacies are empty currently. This situation is, we can say, it's the hardest for chronic patients. For example,
Hmm.
those who has a cancer or kidney diseases. Neither the medical condition or the surrounded environment is in their sights.
Because
So
yeah, the reason I've asked that question is because if you look at almost 90% of the hospitals were bombed and damaged.
exactly,
So
yes.
it needs rebuilding. How are they coping with with their current situation?
Hospi Hospitals currently operate at a fraction of what they should. Doctors are forced to choose who gets treated, and many people are still dying because of infections, injuries, and lack of medicine.
Okay. And schools, they're in the same situation, isn't it?
Yeah, the same situation. As I said, there are no suitable places for learning, for teaching, for getting treated. Everything is like a disaster here. Nothing is normal.
What would be your final message to our viewers? I know we're short in times, but what would be your final message to our viewers? And what can we do from the West to help the situation in
Eh,
Gaza?
The most important thing I'd like to say is that no matter how I try to describe what is happening here, what we are living in, words are remains un- uh, not enough. The words are not enough to describe what is happening here. So the most important thing for I ask from them is to keep talking about us, keep working for our justice, and to get a better place to live in.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I know our internet wasn't that great today, with the limited internet access. We really appreciate that you taking your
Fine,
time and
it's my
giving us
pleasure to
that
do
time.
this.
Yeah. So, hopefully I would want to, continue with this maybe in any 6 months time, see what progress has been made, and then we can do
So
another, podcast.
yeah, that would be better actually.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate that you taking your time out, to
most
be with us.
thank you for your time.